Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are, and welcome to Nerd Tube. And this week in football, and boy, do we have some stuff to talk about this week, and let alone this week, today as well, more likely, because this has been an amazing day for football, a very newsworthy day for football. Now, before we start talking about that, first of all, let me just get my very embarrassed friend right now, my partner in crime when it comes to this football show, Gary. How you doing, mate?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah, fair enough. Don't worry. We've all been there, man. My team's been thrashed 8-2 by you guys, so I know what it's like to be thrashed, even on your home ground as well. So, but we usually start off at the beginning of the week and then go into the latter half of the week, but not this time. This time we're going to have to immediately start off with what happened today because I don't think many people saw this coming, and we're not surprised by it either. Don't get me wrong. I think your team has kind of, you used its luck, so to speak, to get itself out of jail on many occasions, but I think it ran out of luck today. And unfortunately for you guys, you got thrashed at home 5-0. Mohamed Salah got a hat trick against you guys as well, and it really looked like men against boys. Like Liverpool looked very fluid on the attack, looked very fluid on the ball, was carving you guys open like a Christmas turkey, whilst you guys struggled to get around Liverpool. They were very organised when they were off the ball. Gary, take it away, mate. What have you got to say?
Well, I said last week that if it was more than 4-0, I would do a run. It was 5-0, so I'm going to do a run. So the thing is that people are going to put this on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's lap, shoulder, but it's not nothing to do with him. It's to do with the fact that the people we've brought in to be United players aren't good enough, or don't want to play for this year, or just play for a check or whatever. Because the thing is that, we have people there getting paid hundreds of thousands of pounds, literally look like they could give two craps, with Liverpool basically going through, like, as you said, like a knife through butter, or a Christmas jerky, as you said. But the thing is that 5-0 actually flattened us. And I hate to say that, but it did. Liverpool stopped playing after the second half. After they got like 5-0 up, they basically stopped. They basically just kicking around the pitch. They could have beat us if they wanted to. They could have done the same thing that Chelsea did to Norwich. They could have literally put up a cricket score if they wanted to. That could have been 10-0. And people say, "Oh, you've been hyperbolic." No, literally, what's the end of that game? Legitimately, don't forget being a United fan, being a football fan. Legitimately watch that. Imagine it again. Imagine you're not a fan of anybody, and legitimately, it was literally they could have scored at any time they wanted. Again, the thing is that I've seen United do that. I've seen other teams like that. But the thing is that, this is supposed to be the rivalry where you are in the league doesn't matter. Where you are. What's the word? The what you got. Usually, this is usually the teams that you get up for. Your local rivalries. I mean, like, all right. For example, with you, I mean, imagine even if, let's say, for example, Tottenham were in the, I'm going to say, in the relegation or near the relegation zone, for a fact, even as bad as they are, they're going to step up their game against you or anybody around them because again, the players are going to get the meaning of that franchise. It doesn't matter how bad or bad you guys are. Let's say, for example, that your guys are going to get up for those particular matches. And the thing is that they did nothing today. There was just as lackluster as they were against Atlanta, but unfortunately, Atlanta's defense is terrible, and we carved them up in the second half. That's what happened. What happened to this was that Liverpool's defense is a lot more compact. You can't get through it, and then what happens? We get our ass handed to us, because that's what happens when you play against a better football team. Now, people are going to come up with their excuses about this player didn't do this and whatever. No. It's the fact that Ollie, love him, cannot organise a team. So I can organise a team better than he can. It's utter fucking ridiculousness that this football team put that effort against the Liverpool team. Yes, they're one of the best teams in the league, but aren't we? Because we were like top of the league not that long ago, and we weren't there just through pride. We actually won a lot of matches. I think we went unbeaten quite a long time, and then all of a sudden, like in the space of of a week, we've lost 2 matches on the bounce. Now, if that's not telling you that something's really wrong, I don't know what is. Anyway, that's all I've got to say.
I was absolutely blown away by what I was watching. You know, like once Liverpool scored, like what, within 8 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 8 minutes, and then they got a second by the 15th,
mm-hmm.
and then they got a third, and then at halftime they got a fourth. I thinking, wow, you know, like even I couldn't imagine a comeback, you know, from you guys, because Liverpool are just more organised as well, just all around. You know, then Mohamed Salah gets his hat trick for the 5th early on in the second half, and like everything that could go against you guys went against you guys. Ronaldo scored a cracking goal, by the way, disallowed for offside. Paul Pogba gets sent off as well. I knew when the referee went to look at the VAR decision, Paul Pogba was walking. It was really one of the worst days. I mean, and the funny thing is that you've had these days before. People have short memories. That 6-1 against Tottenham Hotspur should have been the end of volley, in my opinion. That was at Old Trafford, that match, you know. But you know, it just goes to show that even when you have people like
sometimes you have that though. Like I can remember like back in the day, even when we were dominant, like Newcastle knocks us over 5-0. Sometimes you get the day, but the thing is that you know what? I can look at that match and say, you know what? Well, at least we tried, and we just came up across the better team on the day.
Look, there have been times where teams that are always smashing teams end up getting thrashed, and you think to yourself, how did that happen? Like Liverpool lost 7-2. These things happen, but you still look at those teams as like, okay, you had an off day. Man United have had an off decade. You know what I mean? You know, like it's a lot worse now because it's not like you're winning things on a regular basis. You know, like if you're winning things on a regular basis and you get thrashed once in a blue moon, it's not so bad. You're not winning anything. You know, you're not convincing anybody. You know, your victories against teams like Atalanta and Villarreal. You know, you pulled a rabbit out of a hat. They're mediocre teams. You played a world-class team today, and you got found wanting, in my opinion. I just want to quickly answer this question: how do you even have time to watch football this week? Well, we do. You know, like I work early in the morning so I can watch football in the afternoon and the evening. That's how I do it. That's how the rest of the world does it.
The thing is that like what happened was that everybody of United fans walked out. There's some people who stayed, but a lot of the fans just walked out and left the Liverpool fans to sing about what they wanted to do. I've never seen that, and I've been a United fan before they were good. I mean, I was a fan 1990, just when the Corps, just when the switched to when they started to win things. And the thing is that now I mean the thing is that like you look at the team now, who is good enough? I mean, Ronaldo's good enough, yeah. Jadon Sancho, if he was played on the right wing, I think he's good enough. Shaw is good enough. David De Gea is good enough. Harry Maguire, if he was the right defensive setup, would be good enough. But everybody else, I don't know if they're good enough or not. And again,
what about
I hate saying that.
Paul
Pogba shows up every once in a while. He's like a comet. He's like Halley's Comet. He shows up every once in a while when he wants to.
Rashford?
See, I won't like Marcus because he's actually because he's class. He's class in every way that you can, but he comes off the bench a lot at the moment, and I think that just like they don't seem to get him the ball in the right positions where he can hurt people with it. So what can he do? You know, he's only one man. He can't really do that much. So, but at the moment, like because he's not getting the ball, he's getting frustrated. And I can see, again, if United don't improve, I can see him walking. Even though we're his quote childhood club, I reckon I can see him walking.
Greenwood.
He's got a lot of pace, but he just needs to walk run into traps a lot. Which again, like you know, for a guy who has as much skill as he can, I think I think if he like slowed himself down a little bit and Moxell could that touch and use that pace intelligently, he could get behind people a lot more than he does.
I mean, I think he's got a future though. I mean, he's still relatively young, but
no, I agree.
No, look, personally, I think you've got a very good team in almost every department. I think maybe people like Wan-Bissaka, who wasn't your worst player, actually. Maybe I'll take that back. Actually, after watching the Gary Neville analysis, he did come across as he found one thing, but usually, from my opinion, Wan-Bissaka is one of your worst players. But I think a good manager, a really good manager, a world-class manager like a Conte, could get the most out of that Man United team than the current regime is doing at this moment in time. You have the players, in my opinion. Now you just need the fucking manager, and you haven't got that in Ole Solskjaer. And it's sad in a way because you want the romance of an ex-player taking over and.
But he's not just an ex-player, an ex-legend.
Yeah.
I mean, this is guy who's got the goal to win us the Champions League.
No, I know all of that. I understand all of that, But then you look at legends like Frank Lampard, and he was out on his arse when it didn't work for him at Chelsea. And sometimes sentiment, like he's had his chance. I think he's had plenty of chances, Ole Solskjaer, to get it right. And the fact that he hasn't won a trophy. I mean, you should have won a trophy last season, in the Europa Cup final. It was in your hands to win it, and you did it. You let fucking Villarreal beat you. I mean, they beat us, but we're shit anyway. So I already expected that to happen. But look, we'll get back to you. We'll get back to Man United in a bit. Let's talk about this week in football. And this week actually began on Monday with Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. This was the Monday night football match, and I don't mind sometimes Monday night games being like this because it's easy for the fans to attend these sort of games. It's in London. The public transport is reasonably good in London. Fans can attend these games, North versus South London, no problem.
Should you not get the results up on here just so that people can watch it?
Okay, fine.
But the thing that we should talk about, after we talked about that,
I'll bring up that because that was last week. It was only one game last week. But I want to go straight to the Champions League after this. But that game was a 2-2. Yeah, Arsenal scored the first goal, and then Palace came back. And you know what? It is like the sun rising every fucking morning, guaranteed that when we go up against Christian Benteke, whether it be for Liverpool, Aston Villa, and now most recently Crystal Palace, he will always fucking score against us. And he scored against us on Monday. And I'm not surprised by that. And Crystal Palace were winning 2-1. And the last kick of the game, pretty much, we equalised with Lacazette scoring. And Lacazette's been one of the most more interesting players this season. You can see there's a bit of fighting gusto. And then maybe he knows he's getting a move next season and he wants to make himself available for that move for a decent club. But nevertheless, Lacazette got us out of jail. And because of that, we didn't have too much egg on our faces. But the way my fellow Arsenal fans reacted to a 2-2 draw against Crystal Palace at home, a team we haven't beaten in 4 fucking years at home, I was fucking disgusted. Like we should not be satisfied with a result like that, And you can see how pissed off Vieira was. He was very upset. And you can see Mikel Arteta, he acted like we won the league. Our fans acted like we fucking won the league. But that was that. And then we moved on to the Champions League. So I was going to bring up what do you call it? A image of the Champions League.
Before you do that, let's talk about Steve Bruce being let go.
All right, fine. Let's just quickly do that. So I'm not surprised by that, by the way.
I'm not surprised either.
Go on, what do you want to say? He's a legend of yours, man.
I mean, the thing is that every team that he's worked with, he's tried to do something with. Like he's either get them up or get the mid-table and stuff like that. He does a pretty decent job for bottom to mid-table companies. Like he seems to get a lot of company, a lot of like clubs that shouldn't be there, right, into the Premier League, and then like they'll usually stay. He'll get them to stay up. So he does pretty well for himself. He just that he, I just it's just that he. That's what he just got into bad luck where like the new owners had took over. They probably wanted a new guy. But if they think they're going to get a top flight manager, they're deluding themselves. Until they get top flight players in that club, they're deluding themselves. If they think they're going to get like a Conte or a Simeone or anybody like that, or like a real top flight manager, you ain't getting that.
I don't know what sort of manager they can get. I mean, the only person I can think of who kind of is like an interim manager, but who would happily take on that job to prove himself to be more, is maybe like a Brendan Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
He seems ideal. Maybe Nuno Espirito Santo as well, especially after he demolished them, because Newcastle got a reality check in that game against Spurs, and they were winning 1-0, and then after that Spurs came back and pretty much demolished them. And the only other goal they scored after that was an own goal by fucking Eric Dyer. But it's no surprise that Steve Bruce got sacked. But I'm not too sorry for him. The guy's got £8 million payoff. He's going to be all right. You know what I mean? He's going to be totally fine. He could retire right now, to tell you the truth. He doesn't need to go back to the stresses of football. But look, Newcastle are a sleeping giant. What they really need to do this season is to survive. If they survive this season, then it's on for next season. Look at this Arab contingent. They should have tried to buy Newcastle before the season started. As you can see, the club is just going through their paces at the moment. And now, the Saudi contingent. But now the real work begins, and the real work at this moment in time is not to get relegated. Nothing else matters, in my opinion. If they get relegated and they've got these billionaire owners, it's going to be fucking hilarious. And a part of me wants that to happen. Actually, I want that to fucking happen. But let's hope that does fucking happen. But fuck Newcastle, to tell you the truth. Anyways, let's get into the Champions League, my son. So, here's the results from this week in the Champions League. Okay.
So spoilers been beat.
Give me a second. Just give me a second, please.
Hey, Vita.
Sorry, that was the reason why I got disturbed. I do apologize. Okay, so V-Star, Nerdodic, hey Nerdodic, and all. Thank you very much. We are nerds here as well, but we also are nerds who love our sport. And yes, Bandit's got a friend too. Yeah, I hope you like your football, V-Star, because you look at me. You got a Starfleet shirt on. I love my Star Trek, but we're also football fans too. Very versatile. I'm quickly just going back to what I was saying here. This was an interesting night of thrashing here in the Champions League. Sporting Lisbon beating Besiktas 4-1. Manchester City beating Club Brugge 5-1. Real Madrid beating Shakhtar Donetsk 5-1. But the match of that week was definitely Atletico Madrid versus Liverpool. They were 2-0 up. Atletico Madrid pulled it back to 2-2, and then Liverpool ended up scoring the winning goal to make it 3-2. And Diego Simeone, he was a bit of a bad loser in all of this. Didn't want to shake Klopp's hand. I can understand. Well, I don't understand. I don't understand, but
it's Diego Simeone. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it was Diego Simeone, isn't it? So he's a bad loser anyway. So yeah. It's a beat Sharif, which I think of from Turkey or something, I think.
Yeah. By the way, who do you support, V-Star? Yeah. By the way, PSG, they beat RB Leipzig 3-2, and I think Messi scored a couple of goals in that game. Let me just double check. Yeah, Messi scored 2 goals, one from the penalty, but Mbappe scored as well. I'm still not convinced with Messi at PSG. Personally, I think personally he's not doing too well at that club. Porto beat Milan 1-0. That's a bit of a shocker. Ajax. Oh, this was one of the biggest shockers. Ajax beating Dortmund 4-0. I watched the highlights of this game. Ajax absolutely wiped the floor with Dortmund, and Dortmund are a very, very good team with very, very good players. I was shocked to see that result happen. Eric Haaland had an off day. I would say Salzburg beating Wolfsburg is a bit of a shock result. 3-1. Barcelona 1-0. I mean, not convincing, by the way. I mean, Barcelona back in the day would like score 4 or 5 against a team like Dynamo, but only 1-0 this time round. Let's have a look at here, especially UK football. No rules, excellent. I believe Manchester United. Well, my friend here is a Manchester United fan, V-Star. And we just spoke about Man United very briefly. We're going to come back to Man United in a bit. But we're just quickly going into this week's football. Was into Manchester. Oh, your ex-husband was into Manchester United, huh? Okay, that's probably why he's your ex.
Lille and Sevilla drew. Yeah, that was boring. Yeah, United beat Atlanta. No, I don't know if you saw this, but Atlanta scored 2 goals in the first half. And then United scored. Then United scored 3 goals on a bounce, scoring like one right in the death. And they I think that basically saved Laur's ass, because I think if they lost that or drew it, and what happened today happened, he'd be looking at P45 action.
Well, personally, even regardless of coming back from 2-0 down, I think he should have been sacked regardless. But nevertheless,
Juve beat that's not really shock. Bayern beat Benfica. Imagine
another thrashing, you know, and another thrashing. Chelsea and Villarreal. You know, it was definitely the week of thrashing in the Champions League. But next week, Chelsea versus Malmo again. This time it's the reverse fixture. Wolves versus Salzburg again. This time it's the reverse fixture. Villarreal versus Young Boys again, reverse fixture. Juventus versus Zenit again, but all these are reverse fixtures. Bayern versus Benfica. Oh my god, it's pretty much reverse fixture week. Oh my god, it is, isn't it? All these teams are playing each other again. Oh my god, I've never seen that before. But yeah, it's the reverse fixtures next week. But yeah, the games that stand out obviously are Liverpool versus Atletico Madrid. I would say Milan Porto would be an interesting match as well. But other than that, you know, I expect similar results. I'll tell you one. I'm not sure. I have a feeling Dortmund might get their revenge on Ajax. You know, I have a good feeling about that. I think that's a possibility. I'm not sure what you think about that, but that's what's going through my gut right now. But yeah, that's the Champions League. Let's have a look at the table.
So PSG are beating Man City, because I think it's the top. Isn't it the top 2, and then the third one goes on to, I think it's Europa League.
Yeah, so, how did this happen? Like, who did Man City lose to? Was it PSG? No, it was PSG. Okay. Okay, interesting.
In the States, I'm an LA fan. Okay.
Oh, here I am in the States. I'm an LA fan. What, LA City or LA Galaxy? Sorry, apologize. So okay, fine. So, but these two teams are going to qualify. I mean, Club Brugge is not too far off, but I think eventually they're going to fall behind. Look at Liverpool, man, 3 for 3. You know, this Liverpool are another level. They're the best team in the world at the moment, best club team in the world.
She means American football.
Ah, Rams, huh? Oh, Stan Kroenke owns you guys. He owns my team as well, V-Star. He owns Arsenal Football Club, and everybody hates Stan Kroenke. Who are Arsenal fans, by the way. He's a very unpopular person. Liverpool, Atletico Madrid, Porto, Milan. That's a tough group, by the way. For Liverpool to be top of that group is quite remarkable. That's one of the toughest groups I've seen in the Champions League. to get free. I mean, that should be a lot more even, in my opinion. Look at Milan right at the bottom.
Yeah,
You know,
well, blood out the force they used to be.
yeah. But Ajax sitting pretty, 3 out of 3. Dortmund second, Sporting persistent. That's a decent group as well. But I expect the top 2 to get out of this. This is unbelievable to see Sharif. Yeah, I mean Sharif. They did lose.
I think that's a goal difference, though. I think.
They lost their first game, but because they beat Real Madrid a couple of weeks ago. Oh, you're a Los Angeles fan as well. Fair enough. But they did beat Real Madrid not too long ago, and that is why they were in this good stead. I mean, I saw the game Sharif had against Real Madrid, and the goalkeeper had the game of his life in that one. But nevertheless, Inter Milan and Shakhtar Donetsk at the bottom, and the shitty team Sharif at the top. Nobody saw that coming. Yes, dangerous. Laugh out loud. Well, he's just Stan Kroenke. He's just a bit of a skinflint, like he doesn't like to spend money. This is very interesting to see here. Bayern Munich and Benfica are 1 and 2, with Barcelona getting their first win and are in third place. They might. I think Barcelona.
Bayern win that by quite some distance.
Yeah, I mean, it's between Barcelona and Benfica, but I would say that I would say Ben. I don't know. I really want Barcelona to go drop down into the Europa League personally. I have no love for Barcelona. I hate them. Of course, the Bears in Chicago. What does that mean? I don't know much about the NFL. Yeah, I know about that. I don't know what she's referring. I believe it's a she. I don't know what she mentioned her ex-husband. So, but I don't know what the Bears in Chicago means. But nevertheless, Man United, Villarreal. No, but what's she referring to? Of course, the Bears in Chicago. But anyway, Man United, Villarreal.
Football.
Yeah, I know, but what is she still referring to, if you know what I mean? Man United, Villarreal, Atalanta, Young Boys. This group is still quite wide open. Man United are in the driving seat to a degree, but they're not pulling away like they should do.
No.
And Villarreal, Atalanta, even Young Boys, it's all to play for. There's the group of life. Salzburg, Sevilla, Lille, and Wolfsburg. Salzburg, wow, out of all the teams running away with it, Salzburg are, 7 points. Interesting. And Juventus and Chelsea in this group. I think so. I got you on.
I think Chelsea, the only game they've lost was to Juventus.
It was to Juventus, and eventually they'll play Juventus again. And when they do play Juventus again, it will be at Stamford Bridge. So we'll see how that pans out. But they're going to be playing Malmo again, and they're going to probably get 3 points again. Look at Malmo; they are the whipping boys of this group. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Champions League. So we're going to quickly jump into. Oh, I forgot to show the table, but that's not. Oh, yeah, sorry. I showed the mini league table. That's fine. But now we're going to quickly go into the Europa League. Let me just quickly get those tabs up. So, what the hell? This is Champions League.
Mm-hmm.
Bloody hell! I wanted Europa League. Yeah, why is it? I thought I typed in Europa League and it gives me bloody Champions League. What's all that about, huh?
I think, there you go.
No. You wait. Let me just type. I got a UEFA League. UEFA Europa League. Look, it's giving me Champions League. This is bollocks. This is seriously bollocks. How can you be doing that? Look at my bird. She just loves eating my ear. Does the Islander man have a team? Not that I know of, but I wouldn't be surprised.
What, the other man?
Yeah.
I doubt that. Maybe if they did, they play like the Vauxhall Conference League or something like that.
God damn it, bird. Go on this shoulder. Oh. Yeah, she's full on naughty now. You're in naughty mode, aren't you? You're in naughty mode, aren't you? Okay. I for some reason I'm getting Champions League instead
Yeah,
of
UEFA Europa League. There you go.
Okay, this is good enough. Okay, so we go to the matches.
Right.
All
So
right.
these are from 4 days ago. So Celtic beat Varus, who I think are Turkish. Yeah, Leicester City beat Spartak Moscow, which is a bit of a shock. Rapid Vienna beat Real Zagreb, not really a shock. Real Betis drew with Leverkusen, not really a shock. A lot of draws. Lazio drew with Marseille. Fenerbahce drew with Antwerp. God. Braga won against Ludo Goretz. Is that how you pronounce that name?
Yeah, Ludogorets. Sorry, I
Yeah.
apologize. I got a bird trying to eat my head.
It's all right. What have we got?
Okay.
Trying to look at Lyon beat Spartak Prague 4-3 despite having a person sent off. That's pretty good for them. Real Southern 1-0. Well, West Ham beat Genk 3-0. That's pretty
Yeah,
good.
I saw the highlights of that game. West Ham were brilliant, and West Ham are having just generally West Ham are having an excellent season, the second excellent season because they had a decent season last season, which got them into Europe in the first place. But but they're continuing where they left off, which is good for them. Galatasaray 1-0 against Lokomotiv Moscow. Napoli 3-0 against Legia Warsaw. Monaco 2-1 against PSV. Rangers 2, Brøndby 0. Bad time Rangers gets a win. And Frankfurt 3 and Olympiacos 0. That's a good result for Frankfurt. But this is what's happening next week. Actually, let's get the table out first. So Lyon on top of their group.
Looks
9
nice.
points. 9 points there. They're a decent team, Lyon. Very underestimated. Always does well in France. Sparta Prague, Rangers, Brøndby. It's a decent group, that is. Monaco are top of their group with 7 points, but they're not running away with it. Yeah, Real Sociedad have got 5, PSV 4, but Sturm Graz is on nil point. So I expect them to not get very far in this. This is probably one of the tougher groups in Group C. It's a really tough group. Legia Warsaw is always a team synonymous in European football. Napoli's a decent Italian team.
They're always within 2 points of each other. That's not too bad.
Yeah, exactly. Napoli, Leicester City, Sparta Moscow. They're all within a couple of points of each other. Like this group is wide open, and Legia Warsaw hasn't run away with it. They can still end up at the bottom. If the other teams do well, we'll see how that goes. Frankfurt, Olympiacos, Fenerbahce, Antwerp. I would say Antwerp are out of it, and Antwerp are a pretty decent team from Belgium.
I think Frankfurt have just been playing really well, and that's the reason that they're top.
No doubt, but 6 points for Olympiacos, so they're not running away with it. But I think Frankfurt and Olympiacos are pretty much. I'll take that back. I think Frankfurt and Olympiacos have pretty much got this group sold. For Antwerp and Fenerbahce to be where they are with their points, they're not going to get very far. Galatasaray 7 points, so they're doing pretty well. 3 points ahead of Lazio, 4 points ahead of Marseille, Lokomotiv Moscow. I think are done for. I can see Galatasaray definitely topping or coming second in this group. This team I can't pronounce with Braga, another team I can't pronounce, and Ludogorets. This is also very similar to the previous group, but the top 2 teams I think are going to walk away with it with 7 and 6 points respectively. Leverkusen on 7, Real Betis on 7. Yeah, them 2 guys have got it made. Celtic on 3 points. Varen, I can't pronounce this, on 0. I think these top 2 teams are walking away with it. What else do we have here? West Ham, Dinamo Zagreb, Rapid Vienna, and Genk. West Ham, look at West Ham, mate. 9 points, man.
They do pretty well.
Man, West Ham are killing it in the fucking Europa League. Absolutely killing it.
David Moyes has got that side playing pretty much damn well.
Yeah, David Moyes has finally got his Everton mojo back, with West Ham.
The one that United took away, yeah, no.
Yeah, so let's have a quick look at the matches they've got next week.
Just try to look at any particular ones that stand out. Monaco PSV could be good.
Monaco PSV, yeah, that would be an interesting match. Leicester Spartak Moscow.
That could be the match.
And that's pretty much it. Maybe Olympiacos Frankfurt and Lyon Sparta Prague. And Warsaw Napoli is not too bad either, to tell you the truth. Some interesting fixtures, that's for sure. But that is the Europa League. But there's one more European League left. I'm going to quickly pull that one up. And that's the one Spurs are in, called the Conference League. Let me just grab that one. So these are the yeah, this is amazing. Like Tel Aviv, they beat HJK 5-0, but this for me, this match here is the shocker of the week, in my opinion. I mean, bigger shocker than but Ajax is a renowned team, so them beating Dortmund 4-0 is a shock. But this team from Norway, this little ass team from Norway, beating the mighty Roma, Jose Mourinho's Roma, 6-1. Yeah, I couldn't believe that, man. I just couldn't believe it. 1 second here. Let's have a look here. He said Frankfurt bet that here in Kentucky, laugh out loud. My son play for Frankfurt in Kentucky. Oh, Frankfurt. No, it's Frankfurt, not with an O, but with a U. And my bird here. Look, my bird. Actually, I know you love eating my body parts, but you really got to let me work here, baby. You got to let me work. Daddy needs to do some chatting on the internet. Okay. All right, so that was quite remarkable. Did you know about that result, Bossman? 6-1?
Yeah.
No? That was amazing. Yeah. That was amazing. I couldn't believe it. But also Spurs, yeah.
By some Dutch team. A small Dutch team.
Is it a Dutch team?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. But yeah, Tottenham lose. Always a good day. Always a happy moment. But that's pretty much it, unfortunately. There's not much in this. Come on, bird. Leave me alone. Tel Aviv are top of their group. Looks like they're going to qualify. And probably the team which is second as well. Ghent is top of their group. I mean, they're flying at the moment. Partizan is on 6 points as well. So it looks like those two guys are there with 1 point for the other two teams. But here's the shocker right here. This team Glimt. Bodo Glimt, the team that beat Roma 6-1, top of their group. I think Roma will qualify as well, but that was a shocker. One of the biggest shocks of the week. Just almost as big as what happened to you guys today. Aided Alkmaar, 7 points. Jalbroni, I'm going to call them, on 4 points. Randers 3, and Cluj on 1. Feyenoord 7 points, Maccabi Haifa 4 points. That's two Israeli teams, I believe, in this group, which is interesting. Slavia Prague on 3 points in Union Berlin. Oh, another Berlin team. Fair enough. Also on 3 points. PAOK. Is that a Greek team, I think? On 7. Copenhagen on 6. These other teams. I can't even pronounce their fucking names, but look where Spurs are. I mean, that's a decent group, actually. That's a tough group for Spurs to be in. 7 points for Rennes. Betis on 6 points. Tottenham on 4. And Mura on 0. -7 goal difference. They are the whipping boys of the group. But Tottenham will not be happy with this. I mean, they should be them and Roma should be the two biggest teams in this group. And the fact that neither of those teams are doing that well, Roma at least are in a qualified position, but Tottenham 8th. It's quite damning. Basel, a team that's always been synonymous with European football in the Champions League, and Carabag have been up there too. So these two teams have done very well for them.
Carabag.
That's what they're called, the Carabag. Honestly, but yeah, and the two teams beneath them not going to qualify for shit. So yeah, interesting.
Okay, let's go to the Premier League.
All right, fine. Let's do the Premier League. If my bird would stop yamming my fucking ear, come on, leave Daddy alone. All right. Let's see. Share screen. Premier League. Oh God, you are really annoying. Yeah. All right. So we had Arsenal versus Aston Villa. That was on Friday night football. A decent game by us. I'm pissed off that we conceded a goal, but nevertheless, we won 3-1. Thomas Partey, I think, scored his first goal for Arsenal with a header. And then we got a penalty on a foul on Lacazette, and then a deflected shot by Smith Rowe. It was a decent result, but at the same time, like our goals are kind of fluky. Not, I think any Arsenal fan thinking that performance was amazingly fantastic really needs a good look at themselves. Like defensively, we were a lot better than we were offensively, but and people like Lacazette was one of our best offensive bits of the game, and so was Smith Rowe. But at times, I do think Smith Rowe has a habit of making the wrong decision. But nevertheless, I'll take it 3-1. We needed a win quite desperately, and I'm glad we got it. This is the thrashing of the week, bigger than yours. Chelsea destroying Norwich 7-0. They were already 5-0 up before Norwich got a player sent off. And then that just made it a lot easier for Chelsea to bang in a couple more goals, even if Norwich were trying to do damage limitation. This would have been a good result here for Newcastle. 1-1, because Newcastle were losing, but Callum Wilson, I think it's Callum Wilson, that's his name, scored an overhead kick.
I was going to say, the Chelsea result, I think I said to you in text, that could have been 20-0, and it would have been fair, considering that how many chances Chelsea squandered. It could have been a lot more than 7.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. Leeds United 1, Wolves 1. This was a game that totally passed me by.
Bit boring.
Now, the hat-trick scored here by Joshua King. He scored on the 13th minute, then scored 2 goals in the dying minutes. And I think Everton are going to be very upset with this. And Watford seemed to be a little bit rejuvenated after because they sacked their manager and they've got in Claudio Ranieri, and that would make him very happy. But Everton conceding 5 goals to Watford away from home, not a good look for Everton. Nevertheless, where else are we? Southampton 2, Burnley 2. The draw specialists are Southampton. But Burnley banging a couple of goals would be good for their motivation, because they haven't been scoring much. And so they must be quite happy to bang in a couple of goals on that particular week. Manchester City 4, Brighton 1. That Riyad Mahrez goal, I remember that goal. That was pretty good. Gundogan scored. Phil Foden banged in 2. He's becoming the real successor to someone like to David Silva, in my opinion. He really is. He's becoming that player. When I was watching him for England, he was pulling the strings. In this game, he was scoring the goals. He can do quite a lot, Phil Foden. When you're a player like him and you got somebody like Pep Guardiola as your manager, you can go very far.
Mm-hmm.
West Ham, this was a great result. West Ham 1-0 against Spurs. West Ham are just doing so well. It's scary. I'm interested in seeing um, the league table after this. Brentford 1, Leicester City 2. This was a good result. Leicester City are starting to come back now. A bit of a dodgy start to the season, but they're scoring goals again, which is good for them, and they're getting results. And finally, and we've already spoken about this earlier, and I'm happy to speak about this a little bit more. Man United 0, Liverpool 5. Now, that's going to be one for the ages, and it's going to be in the annals of footballing history for sure. Now, before we look into the table, let's have a quick look at next week. Leicester City versus Arsenal. For some reason, we can't buy ourselves a 3:30 kickoff. This game.
Can I just say, like, last week and a bit, you've gone from playing last thing on a Sunday to first thing on a Friday, then you've done
Monday.
Then first thing on Saturday. Who have you pissed off in the English Premier League flaming fixture list league?
Well, look, it's a couple of things. First up, we're not in Europe, and so that means if we were in Europe, we'll be playing on Sundays all the fucking time. But we're not in Europe, so that plays its part. And I'm not saying this as some sort of brag, but Arsenal are still a team that has eyes on them, regardless of how shit we are. We have a large fan base, lots of support, and people want to watch us. And so for that reason alone, they tried to put us on television time. So hence we played on a Monday, we played on a Friday, and now we're playing a Saturday 12:30. This will be a televised game. But this is what upsets me. Like this is what upsets me now, because it's 12:30 against Leicester. Now Leicester's not a million miles away, but it's not next door either. So that means fans will have to wake up at like crack of dawn to go to see this game. And this is where it upsets me, because same with the Villa game. The Villa game was on a Friday night. About 8 o'clock, I think, on a Friday night. It's not easy for people from Birmingham or that part of the world, the Black Country and all of that, to come down to London to see that game. This is where the fixture schedulers, the Premier League, UEFA as well. This is where they don't benefit the fans by putting these sort of matches at stupid fucking times. I'm not happy with this at all, but that's how it is.
Watford against Southampton. I reckon Southampton. I'll go Watford to that.
I'll go for a draw. I'll go for another draw. But Southampton seem to be the draw specialist.
All right, Liverpool will probably beat Brighton, considering what City did to them.
Yeah, it can't after what City. I mean, I think maybe Brighton might start coming back down to earth now. After what City done to them, I expect Liverpool to smash him. This is going to be an interesting game. Newcastle versus Chelsea. I expect Chelsea to win this game, no doubt. But Newcastle, I'm not sure. I think maybe Newcastle might be a bit of a bogey team to Chelsea.
Could be.
And if that's and look, now and again you get a result you weren't expecting. That might be the one that week. You know what I mean? Yeah. Man City versus Palace. I expect Man City to beat Palace. Burnley versus Brentford. I think that'll be a draw.
I think Brentford will win that.
Tottenham versus Man United. Now we'll see if Ole Solskjaer is still managing Tottenham, Man United.
I think Tottenham might win that, even as a United fan, because we just seem to be having a bit of a bad time at the moment. And when you get the bad results, it tends to come in droves.
Tottenham are not pulling up trees either, dude. Tottenham lost against West Ham earlier today. Tottenham are a team that fires and misfires. You don't know what Tottenham you're going to get. This is a bit of a weird game to have on a Sunday. Norwich City versus Leeds United is a televised game by the looks of things. I would say Leeds. I think Leeds will win that. I can't see Norwich City winning a game ever this season, and whoever they play. So I would say Leeds United, maybe a draw, worst case scenario for Leeds, but they should win that. Aston Villa versus West Ham, the Clarets versus the Clarets. I expect West Ham to win this, even away from home. I think this will be a good match. Actually, I think this on paper might not be the ideal Sunday afternoon game, but I think this will be a good match. And once again, we have a game that is not ideal for either party. Wolves versus Everton. I'm just going to quickly find, Wolves to Everton. Let's have a look on the map. 52 miles. No, hold on. No, I take that back. There's another Everton which is not in London, which is near Milton Keynes. What's the name? Is it the Molineux?
Yes, the Molineux and Everton is Goodison Park, where you used to be anyway.
Molineux Stadium. To Goodison Park in Liverpool. 102 miles. I just want to quickly show that. No, I mean, just take my word for it. 102 miles. Yeah, it's 10 to 10 in the evening on a Sunday, so the roads are pretty clear. It's an 82-mile trip as well, depending on what road you take. But that's between Wolverhampton Stadium and Goodison Park. This game shouldn't be happening on a Monday. This is not fair to fans. They shouldn't have to do these sort of travelings on a work day, but this is what they do. And I am very upset by that. But they never think about the fans when it comes to the schedulers. They don't give a fuck about us. They think we're so die hard that people will follow them anywhere, and a lot of fans do because they're fucking idiots. But sometimes they should fucking demand to be treated better. Anyway, here's the league. Chelsea top, 22 points. Liverpool on 21 points. Manchester City.
The fact that the top three are like within 2 points of each other.
Yeah, 9 games played. West Ham on 17 points, fourth in the league. West Ham. They really can't complain at the moment. They're doing so well. It's scary how well they're doing. And if they can keep that up, they'll have a very good season, because the other big teams are just not that convincing. We've got the top 6 here. The top 6 is always Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City, Tottenham, Manchester United, and Arsenal. Yeah, half of that top 6 are acting like a top 6.
Brighton.
Yeah, and the other half ain't, because teams like Brighton are in there, West Ham are in there. So funnily enough, even though Tottenham have had some terrible results in the last 5 games, even though they're 2 wins, they're still somehow 6th in the league. Man United have dropped to 7th now. Everton back to mid-table. Leicester City doing okay now. Like, they were a bit lower than 9th. I think they were down to 12th, 13th, 14th at one point. Now they've climbed up the table a bit. Arsenal on 10 points. It's funny in the way, like, we haven't lost a game in the last 5 games, but we're still 10th in the league. Losing the first 3 games of the league meant that it was always going to be a bit of a struggle. But Tottenham have lost 3 games there, and they're somehow 15th. Crazy. Where else are we? Okay, Wolves. They're starting to pull up a little bit. Brentford are starting to go down a little bit. Same with Aston Villa. Watford are pretty much in the same place. Same with Palace. Palace can't get a win to save their lives at the moment. And
they've lost they had 3 loads. Southampton won, but then they've lost. So they're in that fight. Leeds are in that fight. But yeah, Burnley Newcastle, and again, my prediction still seems to be on track of that Norwich will beat Sunderland's all-time lowest score.
I'm with you on that. I just cannot see Norwich getting a victory against anybody.
Yeah,
I can't see
don't know where the next point's going to come from, because again, the people they got points against was Burnley and someone else in this sort of region. Everyone else has basically kicked their asses.
Yeah,
God,
for sure.
God only help them if they play like
a point. They got a point. They got a point, fun enough, against Brighton, which was kind of surprising. I expected Brighton. It was a draw, 1-1 draw, 0-0 draw. I expected Brighton to beat them. That wasn't the case. But Newcastle, out of all the teams there, the most interesting one is Newcastle, because they're the ones with the fucking trillionaire owners. And the funny thing is, they've got all this money now, yet they can't invest a fucking penny because the transfer window is closed. And then they're going to have to convince players in January to join them, and they have to be.
When you're relegation dogfight, yeah, that's going to be easy.
Yeah. Well, money is the convincer, because they got the money, so they can afford to pay players astronomical wages, and I think players won't give a fuck, if they're in the relegation dogfight, if they're earning like £200,000 a week or something, they'll take that every day of the week. It's up for Newcastle to see what they do. I think this is the most fascinating. Newcastle are in such a fascinating position right now. They are in a relegation dogfight, yet they've got owners who could buy them the world. It's absolutely crazy to see the position they're in. They are the richest club in the world. People don't realize that. They're 19th in the league, man. Richest club in the world is 19th in the league. I find this absolutely fascinating. I hope they get relegated.
If they go down, that is going to be very, very interesting to see how that pans out.
Yeah, for sure. But
because I'm sure the sort of thing happened to QPR where they got like a lot of investment, but it happened too late for them.
Well, no, QPR, like they had a lot of investors, but also unfortunately they kept hiring what we call mercenaries. Like these guys were just in it for the money, and they never really gave the performances. And unfortunately, I think Newcastle might be in a similar position. If whoever they bring in, there might be a former superstar, somebody who once played very well, But at the same time, will they give the sort of effort you expect from a player of that sort of caliber who they bring in? Because the sort of players QPR brought in were good players, but they were good players when they were playing for their other clubs. When they played for QPR, they weren't good players anymore. We'll see what happens. Always keep an eye on Newcastle, because they're going to be the most fascinating story of the lot. I think more fascinating than you, because you guys are still going to be in the Premier League. Newcastle might not be, and they'll be the richest club not to be in the Premier League. It's going to be absolutely crazy. See what happens. So, anyways, that's this week in football, mate. I'm sure you're going to be drowning your sorrows now.
I'm not drinking again, but as I said, it support your club. As I said, even if they're not performing to your expectations, support your club.
Yeah, nobody. I think I always support Arsenal, but I do keep it real. I know for a fact that Arsenal are always going to let me down. I know Arsenal are never going to be the sort of team they were under the early Wenger years, because we have an owner that doesn't like to invest. And we have we got a mediocre attitude when it comes to being a football team. We just have no ambition, and you can see it. And if we can turn that around, who knows? But I understand Kroenke's tenure. I'm just not so sure. It's very hard to feel ambitious about. I mean, look, we got fucking Mikel Arteta as our manager. Mikel Arteta, a guy who's plying his trade, his first managerial job is at Arsenal, the third biggest club in the country, one of the biggest clubs in the world, and he's doing his first job as manager at Arsenal. It's a fucking joke. We could have got somebody who is far more experienced, but that person would probably be very demanding, and will also ask for more. It will probably be a more expensive manager as well, and you can tell the board doesn't want that. You know, that's why they went with Arteta, the prodigal son. But we'll see how that goes. We're playing Leicester next week, and a win. We know we need to start getting some points on the board. We want to be in Europe next week. Sorry, not next week. We want to be in Europe by the end of the season. But there's no chance of us being in Europe if we fucking lose to teams like fucking Leicester. And we got a decent result against Leicester. We're kind of like when they won the league, we're the only team to beat them that season, home and away. So we'll see how it goes this time around. But Arsenal just they're like you guys, man. You just don't know what team you're going to fucking get. I mean, you're playing Spurs, man. You don't expect to beat them. But then again, Spurs are not in a good place either. So we'll see how it goes. Anyways, mate, this has been This Week in Football. You got anything more to say, Gary?
Support your club. Also, Steve Bruce, you deserve better. That's all I've got to say.
I think he's going to. If I was Steve Bruce, I would look at international football or retirement. He doesn't need the hecticness of day-to-day football. Manage a team like Finland or something. Take it easy, mate. You know what I mean? Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to NerdTube. I think tomorrow are we going to be doing a review on Dune? You want to do that?
Yeah, indeed. Yeah,
we'll do that tomorrow. So tomorrow we're going to be doing a review of Dune, the new movie, which has come out of the remake of the David Lynch classic. We'll be doing a review of that. We've both seen that. Sorry?
It's based on the book.
Yeah, but I by the way, just a quick thing, Bossman. I actually liked Dune. Did you? The remake.
I'll see my thoughts tomorrow.
Okay, fine, fair enough. I personally liked it, but you'll get more out of me tomorrow regarding that particular thing. So keep an eye on us for that. But regarding who we are as a YouTube channel, we do everything: fan reactions, trailer reactions, previews. We fucking do it all. Anything to do with pop culture, as well as sports, as we're doing right now. So if you like your science fiction, you like your action movies, you like your fucking MCU, you like your DC, you like your comic books, you like your video games, you like your football, we are the place for you, NerdTube. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to us. We're the greatest YouTube channel you never fucking heard of. And we'll see you cunts later. Bye-bye.